James Carter, a former soccer star whose career was cut short by a knee injury, had poured every ounce of his remaining strength into his son, Kevin. The gym's artificial lights bathed the training field in a cold, harsh glow as James paced the sidelines, his eyes fixed on Kevin, who was executing drill after drill with relentless precision. "Again, Kevin. Push yourself harder," James shouted, his voice tinged with desperation. "You've got to be the best. You can't afford to make mistakes now." Kevin, drenched in sweat and breathing heavily, shot a glance toward his father. His gaze was a mixture of exhaustion and frustration. "Dad, I'm giving it my all. Can we take a break?" "No breaks," James barked. "If you want to make it to the national team, you need to outwork everyone else. This is your chance, Kevin. Don't waste it." Back at home, the house was in disarray. Bills piled up on the kitchen counter, and the refrigerator was almost empty. James had sacrificed everything, his savings, his health, and his once promising future, for Kevin's dream. His own well-being had deteriorated as he dedicated every waking moment to coaching Kevin, often foregoing meals and sleep. One evening, while Kevin was still at practice, James sat at the kitchen table, a stack of unpaid bills in front of him. He rubbed his weary eyes and tried to focus on the numbers, but the stress was overwhelming. His phone rang, jolting him from his thoughts. "Hello?" James answered. "Mr. Carter, this is Mrs. Lawson from the bank," the voice on the other end said. "We need to discuss the missed payments on your loan. You're in danger of foreclosure." James swallowed hard, his heart pounding. "I understand. I'm doing everything I can. Just, give me a little more time." "We've already extended your deadline," Mrs. Lawson said. "I'm afraid we can't offer more leniency. You'll need to come in for a formal discussion about the next steps." As Kevin's career progressed, he became a rising star, attracting attention from scouts and media. James was there for every game, every practice, his presence a constant reminder of the sacrifices he had made. But as Kevin's success grew, their relationship began to fray. One day, after an intense training session, Kevin slumped onto the bench, visibly agitated. "Dad, I need to talk to you." James wiped sweat from his brow and sat beside him. "What's wrong, Kevin? Did I push you too hard?" "No, it's not that," Kevin said, frustration evident in his voice. "It's just, I feel like you're controlling everything. You're constantly breathing down my neck. I need some space." James's face fell. "I'm just trying to help you succeed. You know how much I've sacrificed for this. I only want what's best for you." Kevin's eyes hardened. "I know you've sacrificed a lot, but it's starting to feel like your dream, not mine. I need to do this on my own terms. And I need you to back off." The tension between them reached a breaking point. Kevin's demands for independence intensified, and James's constant pushing seemed to drive a wedge between them. When Kevin was selected for the national team, the final blow came. In a meeting arranged to discuss Kevin's future, Kevin made a shocking announcement. "I'm going to sever all ties with you, Dad. You've been too controlling, and I need to focus on my career without your interference." James was stunned, his heart shattering. "Kevin, please, don't do this. I've only ever wanted to support you. How can you just cut me out of your life? You made my life horrible. We were constantly working out, and all you cared about was making the team. You didn't even see me as your son, just a way to fulfill your dream. We were so poor. We didn't have proper food, and sometimes we didn't know if we'd have a place to stay. We were on the verge of being homeless, living in dirty and disarrayed conditions. My life was a nightmare, Dad. We lived in the worst neighborhoods under the worst conditions. All I could do was work hard to try to get out of that situation. But did you try to make things better? No. All you cared about was making the team. You didn't care about providing for me, giving me love and attention. Everything was about the team, the team, the team." Kevin's voice was firm but pained. I need to make my own decisions, Dad. This is the only way I can do that." As Kevin walked out, James felt a profound sense of loss and despair. The sacrifices he had made, the neglected health, the financial ruin, and the strained relationships, seemed to have led to this moment of utter betrayal. James's reputation as a devoted father began to tarnish as rumors spread about his controlling nature. His once proud achievements in the soccer world were overshadowed by the scandal of his son's accusations. Financial woes compounded his anguish, leaving him to grapple with the harsh reality of his situation. One night, as James sat alone in the dimly lit living room of his now empty house, he was visited by an old friend and former teammate, Dan. "James, I heard what happened," Dan said, concern etched in his face. "I came to see if you're all right." James shook his head, his voice barely above a whisper. "I don't know if I'll ever be all right, Dan. I gave everything for Kevin, and now he's turned his back on me." Dan placed a reassuring hand on James's shoulder. "You did everything you could, James. Sometimes, even the greatest sacrifices don't lead to the outcomes we hope for. But you have to find a way to move forward." James nodded, the weight of Dan's words sinking in. As the days passed, he began to confront the reality of his situation. Though his heart was heavy with betrayal, he started to focus on rebuilding his life, seeking ways to regain his health and financial stability. James's journey to mend the pieces of his shattered life would be long and arduous. But with the support of friends like Dan and the strength he found within himself, he began to hope for a future where he could heal and find peace. In the end, the athletic dream was not just about the pursuit of success but also about the personal cost of ambition and the enduring struggle to reconcile love, sacrifice, and personal identity. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Your support means the world to us and helps us continue bringing you heartfelt stories. Thank you for watching.